This is Mark from Not Square Design, back on the timber frame barn, and gone out there and visited with the timber framer. And in doing so, got some notes on here. You can't read them there, but basically, it says that this joint here comes down to where it's 1 inch in from here, and then it goes up to where it's perpendicular to this edge. And so I'm going to take the detail and we're going to change it from what I had here to meet that. So I'm just going to move this over to here. Then let's offset that one. Extend it down. Erase that. Actually, this probably really won, but it's so much a non-issue. So what I need is a line that goes from here perpendicular to here. And that is how he determined this. So if I match properties there. And then these are in there, but I didn't get exact measurements on their locations. And so what I really need to just do is take a look at my picture. I'll slide it off to the side. But you can see I've got 2 down low. They are, he gave me some dimensions, like this one is 2 inches in, this one was 1 inch in, and this one, I'm going to just align it straight through this portion and put it in that location. So, to do that first one, I can grab this guy, and let's go ahead and locate it from there to here. And then I can move this guy from there to the mid. Oop. From there. And I want to grab the mid. Now, I don't trust that because I don't know if it grabbed the midpoint of itself. So just to be safe, let's type mid and drop it on the mid. Now I know it's there. So that one's in good shape. Or actually, I'm going to do that, leave it in case I need the line type, and I can match properties. So one of them was offset 1, and then it was offset 2, so I'll just offset it twice. And then I've kind of got to take a look at what we've got, and we're in by probably 2 inches from this guy. So offset 2, and that gives me an intersection here. So I'm going to copy that from there to that intersection. Oops, I missed. So now I got to move it there, there, to there. And then I can get rid of this. And I can get rid of this. So I've got one more. And that one is about 3 inches in from here. And so I'm going to copy that from that point to that intersection. And I've got all of my pieces in here, and I don't need that. So what I want to do now is dimension this out and make it make sense. And these look like they're angled. And so I think if I put this here, it should give me a good angular dimension. Looks like about 7. So if I were to take this and move it, because I can see his marks on the top of the wood, I'm going to offset 7. Offset 7. And then we're going to move this guy right to there. Yep, right on it. Now we got 7. That's a nice number. And more realistic to probably what he did. So, and if I look at this, yeah, it's 1 inch. So, if you watched how I offset that, I offset it off this angle. So this may not have been exactly 1 inch when you measure it in that direction. So now I need to take and put enough lines in here where I can dimension where these guys are located. And the 1 inch in, you know what? These are off by a bit. Offset 1.5. because, and then this is 1. And the reason that I'm saying this because it was to the center, and it's actually the edge. It's 1 inch to the edge. So if I move it 1.5 and they're 1 inch diameter, then it'll be in the right location. So if I looked at this again, perpendicular there, that was about 2 inch. So offset 2. There's my new intersection. So let's move this guy. Get it properly located. And we don't need, well, that, don't need that one. Now, this one, just move it up to where it's also properly located. There we go. Now it's just a dimension issue. And so how do I want to dimension it? Let's see what happens when, if I take this guy, move it. I'm going to move this line from there to there. Then I'm going to trim it to here. You can see it's not being very friendly here, and that's because this isn't sticking out to where it's perpendicular. So if I want a proper measurement, I need to take a line, make it perpendicular to here, then move it from here to here. Oops, missed. There, to there. Then extend out this guy. Possibly, there we go, it did it. Now, just get rid of that. And that is looking very nice. So to get the 1.5 inches over on this side, I'm going to dimension it on this side. And let's see if I were, what is this guy? Let's move it from there to there. Let's extend it up to here. Oh, nope. Extend to there, that. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same with this. Extend to here, that one. And that way I can take this and move it to 2 locations that, oh, it's not perpendicular. See, this is perpendicular to this. So it's the same issue as we had here. So I can either extend it out beyond or I can pull it in. And I think beyond will make it clearer. So I'm going to go beyond. So I need a line. Best way to do that. So I want it to be perpendicular to these 2 lines. Oh, I see. I need a line anywhere from here to perpendicular to this line. Now I can move that from here to that spot, extend out to here, this guy, and then grab that and put it there. And that is probably going to give me a much better. So 3 3/8. Now I thought we did a distance of 3, but it to perpendicular to that, it is 3 3/8. Okay. Because we went off of this line. That is what we did. We went off of that line. So getting this thing done, this is what it looks like. So I've got my dimension strings, got my 3 pegs in, got the line drawn, which you saw happen. Then I just transferred those pegs straight down to give them this location down in here, so we could see what was going on. Everything else was in great shape. So we'll just do a zoom extents, hit save, and that one is done, and it's just on and on through the rest of these details that we've kind of gone through, I believe, in other videos. In fact, I know we have. And just taking the information that I received from the timber framer, and I'm going to translate that into our actual drawings, and then I will have good shop drawings for all of these connections. And here's a good one, just looking at my papers here, and maybe a good idea might, kind of hard to decipher. I could explain it, some slight taper, that sort of thing. Maybe I'll scan this image in, just kind of explain what he wanted versus what I had drawn. Then I'll make those changes and just reveal the final product. So I'm going to scan these and I'll be back. So the scan, here we're just putting in the middle. He just wants to be equal both sides. And he wants it equal on the post. So it may hug one side, it won't be flushed here, which is what I kind of assumed he'd do to create less work for himself, but it's not what it was explained to me. Here, this is slight taper. And so instead of this being straight up, he wants just a slight taper in it. And then this will be a 90-degree angle to this location here. Down here, doing the 1-inch shoulder, and then just bringing it up, in and out. So it's about plus 4 inches post shoulder from tenon. And I have voice recording to help me with some stuff, but I believe if I listen to that, what he's talking about is the depth of this will be about 4 inches. And he says that kind of varies a little bit as he starts to do it. So these are like 4 to 4.5 inches for these guys. And let's zoom in on that. So it looks like I even drew on here that this is fully straightened out to a full width, to one edge, but not both. So I also have notes on these guys. All these are to be about 3.5 inches deep. So no matter where it's at, they're about 3.5 inches. And I think that's about all the notes I have. Everything else seemed to be pretty. Well, there is one for, let's see, that location would be similar. Oh, it's a mid-post location. So it's like this location, except it's where it comes in from both sides. And all he's stating is that, like everything else, make this that 4 to 4.5 inches, but he wants these tops to taper down and the bottom to be flush. So I'll just come out, come up 4.5 inches, and then taper it up, and kind of where it hits, from my understanding. And if while I'm listening to his voice recording, that ends up different, I'll point that out. And that would be the same from both sides. And since their depth is only about 3.5 inches, then on an 8x8 post, we're not going to intersect and hit one side to the other. There will be solid timber all the way through the middle portion. So that makes me feel better too, about the way this is being done. To have some good, even if it's small, just some solid lumber all the way through that. So let's go to it. I'm gonna go back to my details. Pull these over to the side where I can see them. Actually, I don't need them. I've got paper copies. And then I'm just gonna go through, open up the other details, make those changes, and come back. There's no sense in watching me draft. All right, so now we're looking at the finished product on the next the series of details. It's got the tapers in here, small tapers on the top, 1-inch shoulders. Put some in some rough notes, 90-degree angle symbols, that sort of stuff to kind of describe how this goes. Actually, it looks like I'm missing that one. So I need to finish that one up. I guess I'm not done. So this one here is that ridge joint, but when I started looking at that next one I've got to do, how he did it is he brought the tenon all the way up into the mid portion of this, and then if I look towards the end, he kept it down from the top, and it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but he kept it down. It's about 1 inch right in through here. I'll turn my highlighter off again. About 1 inch right in through here. I don't know if the highlighter helps in this case. And you can see how this is straight up. And this will have the inch in, and then a taper, and then over to where you finish that out. So that's what I'm going to draw this in at. So hopefully that'll make sense once I get this detail done. So the one part of this that I don't know now that I've got it done is taper as on other tenons. But I don't know how much taper this has. And if you look around, this one he wanted at 90 to this angle here. But a lot of these other tapers, they're, well, not that one, but like here, they're pretty shallow. And so I just don't know what this one is. And aside from this getting too close, so we don't have any meat left, I don't know that it's critical on the amount of taper. But it would be nice to have some more meat left. So I'm gonna bring this up. And right now, my distance from here to here in the X is about 2 inches. So I bring it back to 1. I think that'll take it quite a bit. So I can try and drag this over. And this doesn't work yet. I was hoping that this would work in AutoCAD. But 1, see what it does? You can't drag it in a direction. So you have to do a couple steps to get it to do what you want it to do. So I draw a line from here up, say, and then just move that over the 1 inch, grab my pieces, and bring them over. Oh, I moved it. I didn't stretch it. Undo. Because it does come right to the edge. When he cuts this piece off, you're going to see that sticking through there. And it's pretty evident that you will, from other views, like right here, you'll see that when he cuts that off, it's going to be right there. So now that I have this here, I can just bring it over. And of course, I've got some wackiness going on with my hatch. But pretty easy to fix. You can do some stretching. Sometimes it doesn't stretch nicely, but this one did. So that is how this one's looking so far. I've got about 20 minutes of video, and I think you guys are getting the point. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one and publish her.